lead together, embrace change, enhance everyone's journey. The 3 core principles of SmartStop, a leader in self-storage real estate across North America, reinforce why we're proud to bring you SheEO Lead-In, the podcast featuring curated conversations with powerful women sharing their impactful wisdom. It's a self-knowledge, self-discovery, and self-preneurship audio storage vault created by and for women. SmartStop's presentation of SheEO Lead-In begins right now.
Have you ever felt that you as a woman may not appear to measure up when you see incredible women in strong roles? You may be surprised when hearing from women in these positions and how we all share many of the same challenges. Thank you for joining us for the SheEO Leading-In podcast with Rebecca Jones as we share the journeys of women.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Jones, your host of SheEO Lead-In. We are on an exploration together to discover more about the personal journeys of incredible women in both career and life. We all have paths to share that sometimes take incredible turns, deep resilience, and courage to navigate. My hopes are that the challenges shared here encourage women to take leaps of faith and growth when a journey feels too difficult or unachievable. There is great strength deep within each one of us. These stories are meant to share the ways strong women have taken their dreams to strive and thrive to new heights, despite their sometimes rocky paths, and found a way to lead in. Today we're here with Anna Covrette, auctioneer extraordinaire. How are you today, Anna?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I am so excited to hear about your story today because what you do is a little bit unusual, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's not super common. I think, there's not too many auctioneers out there, so you're likely not going to come across one very often.
Well, not just auctioneers in general, but a woman. That is pretty different, isn't it?
It is. It is different. It's a little unusual. There are, definitely female auctioneers out there, but if you're going to run into an auctioneer, chances are you're going to run into a male auctioneer.
Definitely. Well, I'm wondering if you could do just a quick little sample for us.
Yep. $100 bidder now, gonna go $200 bidder now, gonna go $300 bidder now, gonna go I got a $400 bidder now, gonna go $500 bidder, going once, going twice, sold.
That is so cool. So hopefully it's not in the hundreds though. Most of the time,
hopefully we're way further up there. Yeah,
exactly. Well, I would love to hear a short story about your childhood that maybe people don't know about you that you'd like to share with us.
Oh man. Well, so I was raised by a single mom, and when I was younger, I had a female pediatrician, and that's what I was used to seeing. And one day we went into the pediatrician's office and she wasn't able to be there. So we had a male doctor. And as we were leaving, I looked at my mom and I said, "Mom, I didn't know that boys could be doctors too."
That is so funny.
Yeah, and that was how I was raised. I was raised by an amazing single mom, and I was raised to believe that you have no limitations. You can do absolutely anything that you want to.
And that's true.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
is true. So what is one word you think that describes you the best?
Oh man, I hope probably easygoing. Easygoing is probably like the word that I hope describes me the best on any given day, because there are a lot of things that come up at events. There are so many things that come up that are unpredictable. You have a plan going into it, right? You have your timeline, you have your program, but there are absolutely things that will go wrong. And so the ability to kind of take those punches as they come and deal with it on the fly, that's, I think, hopefully what makes me a good auctioneer.
So how long have you been doing this, and what led you to this? Because I know our listeners are probably thinking the same thing as me. You're fairly young, yep. And you have so much energy. It's one of the words that I would use for you. Definitely energetic, positive. But what do what brought you to this?
This is my 7th year as an auctioneer. Mm-hmm. I started when I was 19, just about to be 20. So I booked my first event at 19 in March of 2019, and I did it in May of 2019, right after I turned 20. I had attended an event when I was a freshman in college with an auctioneer that was not great. He wasn't killing it out there. He maybe got a cocktail during cocktail hour.
Oh boy.
He was a little loosey-goosey. And as I was watching him, it kind of planted a seed of, I think I could do that. I think that I could do what that drunk guy is doing up there. I think as long as I don't drink, I might be a little bit better than that guy up there. And the following year, I attended an event and I met Clint Bell. Which I don't know if you've ever seen Clint Bell do an auction, but it is magical. Like, his ability to command a room is just like, it's incredible. It's incredible to watch. And I went up to Clint at that event and I said, I introduced myself. I said, I'm Anna. I think that I could be really good at this and I would really love to try. Are you interested at all in mentoring? And he said, yes, I am. I actually have been looking to bring somebody on to kind of handle the dates that I get multiple requests for. So if you're interested, here's my email, send me an email and I'll bring you to an event sometime. So I came down from spring break from college and I sent him an email and I attended an event with him and he was just really nice. He introduced me to everybody. He even just that first event taught me really good lessons. Your best friends at an event are the AV people. Those are the people that are going to make sure that you have a good night. So you always want to be really nice to the AV people. You want to be really nice to the event planner. You want to make sure that you're checking in. And he just taught me like phenomenal lessons even just that first time. And I thought that I would go with him to like few events over the course of a couple months. But he called me 3 weeks later and he said, I have a gig for you. This woman is going to call you tomorrow. This is what you say to her. This is how you pitch yourself. I wouldn't maybe mention it's your first time. I would try to maybe avoid that if you can.
Oh gosh.
And call me, let me know if you book it. And I was a sophomore in college. I did that interview on my twin bed in my college like apartment and I booked it. And I, sort of beat around the bush. I didn't say it was my first time, but I didn't say it wasn't my first time. So sort of beat around the bush, got the job, and then and it went really well. And then
wait, what did you think when you showed up and you walk out there and you have the microphone and you're like, oh wow, what am I doing?
Well, I think honestly, the part about the getting up on the microphone, that was okay for me. Like, I'd really practiced bid calling. I'd practiced how I was going to introduce each of the items, how I was going to present, like, the jokes that I was going to make. But that night, one of my jobs that night, not just as an auctioneer, was the founder of the organization who was on the board of my university that I was currently attending. The event planner said he only gets 3 minutes to talk. And if he goes over 3 minutes, you need to kind of go up and keep the program moving.
And take the hook and get him out of the way?
In a nice, respectful way. Like,
yes.
And I was like, I had unbelievable imposter syndrome. I was 20 years old. I was like, this guy is like, he's incredible. Like, he's so accomplished. And like, how am I, what business do I have going up in any way, shape, or form and like interrupting him or trying to move things along? But that, I don't know, like, that's been a big part of like my story is like, I've been in rooms with people that I felt like I have no business being in rooms with them. They're so much more accomplished than I am, but I still have to go up and introduce myself and introduce them if they're speakers, or sometimes if they're going a little long, very politely walk up on stage and go, thank you so much. What an incredible speech. Like, let's keep it going. And it's just been the most wild and crazy ride, and I'm just so grateful.
Well, that had to be a tough one.
That was a tough one.
Did you just walk up like you owned it?
I think like you don't bring out a hook, right? You walk up very nicely with a microphone and you just kind of step next to the person and very kindly say,
hi.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming up and sharing your story with us tonight. But I don't know what at 20 years old gave me the confidence or the courage to get up there and do that.
Well, I definitely would not say that you're insecure at all. You are definitely secure in yourself, but probably that first time it had to be pretty tough.
It was very intimidating. It was very intimidating.
So let's talk a little bit about success and failure. I'm sure you've had some things where you go, oh, wow, that was so great. And then, oh, no, that did not work out. But I would imagine, as most of our guests have said, many times a failure actually turns into a success or to something that helps you in the future. So do you want to share a couple of examples maybe?
Yeah. So one thing that Clint really trained me to be myself, and we just brought on a new auctioneer, is kind of the Swiss Army auctioneer. You're going to I do a lot of different type of events for a lot of different kinds of organizations. And sometimes they are home runs and sometimes they are hot messes and you can't predict which it's going to be. And a lot of times things that happen at events are outside of anybody's control, and it's how you respond to that. Mm-hmm. I did an event where one of the donors at the event, she had a fall and an ambulance was called, and she was sitting at the major donor table. She was completely fine, but she did have to go into an ambulance, and because of that injury, every other major donor at that event left. And all of the live auction items were geared towards the major donors that were in the room. Oh. So I suddenly had a slew of live auction items that nobody had any money in the room to bid on because they were all targeted for that specific group. Oh. And I think maybe 1 out of 5 items sold that night. And was it the most successful event I've ever done? No, it's hard. It is hard to stand up there and not have items sell. But I booked more events from that event than I do at successful events because of my ability to not be fazed by it and to keep it fun, to keep it lighthearted, even though things weren't selling. You still want everybody in the room to have a good time.
Right.
You want everybody to, because that's what I tell clients is maybe 10% of people at events are bidding, but everybody has to watch the live auction. And so you're not just doing the auction for the 10% of the people in the room, you're doing it for 100% of the people in the room. And you want everybody to be having a good time.
You're an entertainer.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
yes.
That is what you're there for.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you want, if that 90% of the people that are not bidding, if they get really into it and the energy gets going, that will make the 10%, it will help me and my cause to make that 10% maybe bid a little bit more.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's, so what about a failure where it didn't go well and you just go, darn.
I think.
Did you learn anything?
Yeah. There are a lot of times where I'm in front of crowds that I cannot control. There are oftentimes crowds that, not oftentimes, but sometimes you're just in front of a crowd that I cannot get a hold of in any way. And then you're up there for however long you're up there talking to a wall. You're like, voices.
Anybody out there?
Is there anybody out there? Not a single joke will land. Not a lull in the crowds talking. There are just times where I cannot get control of a room. And it is a humbling experience. Painful. It can be. But anytime you have an event that's anytime I have an event that's wow, that was a good one, I'm feeling great, then I'll get an event that's maybe okay, and this is why we keep working, we keep trying to be the best that we can be, because I'm not always able to control certain rooms, but I still have to stand up there, I still have a job to do, and I still have to get through everything that I'm supposed to get through.
And I would say that conversations can be the same way. Mm-hmm. You definitely, whether you're an auctioneer or you're in a middle of a big conversation, sometimes you can't connect with people.
Right.
Sometimes it's very difficult. And what do you do in a situation like that where just keep trying, I guess, trying different things, right?
You just keep trying.
Maybe something will land.
For example, I will not shush people. Yeah. I am not a kindergarten teacher. It is not my job to get up there and shush a room full of adults. But I have tricks that I will try. I will try to make them clap so much that they don't know what's going on. I will say, round of applause tonight if it's your first time in the audience. Round of applause if you've been here more than 5 years, more than 10 years, just to get people clapping so that maybe they will start to pay attention. But, I mean, I did an event in the fall and it was 600 people. It was a big room. And the program was supposed to be an hour. It was 3.5. It ended up being 3.5 hours. Ooh. And when I got up there at 11:45 at night, 300 out of 600 people walked out of the room. And the remaining 300 people got up and stood. And they talked during the entire live auction and the entire paddle race.
Wow.
And you just stand up there and you just have a job to do.
Yeah.
It's not the most fulfilling feeling in the world, but at the end of the day, like, it's my job to make sure that I go through all of the auction items, all of the paddle raise, and still, even though I don't have any control over the crowd, raise as much money as I possibly can. Because it's always a deserving cause. It's always a charity that I get behind, and I want them to be successful.
So let's pick up on that in just a minute. We're going to take a smart stop for our amazing sponsor.
SmartStop knows the winning connection is when we elevate success together. SmartStop Self Storage, a California company with nearly 200 properties and over 15 million square feet of rentable storage in the US and Canada, is committed to positively impacting the communities we serve on the national and local level. By aligning our core principles of leading together, embracing change, and enhancing everyone's journey with local initiatives focused on education, health, and social welfare, we all elevate together. Through financial and strategic partnerships with nonprofits and prestigious organizations such as Cloudcast Media, Arrow McLaren IndyCar, Breast Cancer Research Foundation, Wounded Warrior Project, USC Athletics, the Brampton Steelheads, MMA fighters and boxers, and other unique athletes, we aim to foster a sense of unity and pride within the communities we serve, creating a shared identity and generating a positive atmosphere. To learn more about our core values, our locations, and career opportunities, please visit us at smartstopselfstorage.com. SmartStop, elevating success together.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about personalities, because I think that does come into play both in any career that you have and then also as an auctioneer. Personalities, sometimes you're not going to mesh with people.
That's right. And I mean, one of the great things about being an auctioneer, I usually work for an organization for one night a year. So even if I have a personality that I don't mesh with, I'm only there one night, and I try to make the best of the situation that I can. There are best practices that I always recommend, but it's not always what a person or an organization decides to do. And that's okay. That's their choice. And I always say, I will do whatever you want me to do. These are my recommendations. But at the end of the day, you want to be somebody, when you're working as a gig worker, at the end of the day, you want to be somebody that is fun to work with.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, you always have to have a little bit of fun in life.
Yeah.
It's too hard. Okay, so life responsibilities and work. How do you handle that? Because I would say sometimes I feel like myself personally, oh, I'm doing such a great job. I can get everything done. And then other times I'm like failing miserably. Do you feel kind of the same way?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. This past week, I had the honor of officiating a wedding in Ireland in a castle. I had 2 friends that got married, and it was incredible. And then I flew back Thursday, and then I had events Saturday, Monday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I was jet lagged, and I was running around like a chicken with its head cut off, just trying to get everything done, trying to make sure that I made all of my meetings, trying to make sure that I had all of my dresses dry cleaned, figuring out what I was going to wear, getting all of my scripts in order, downloading them, taking all the right notes, and nothing else got done. My apartment was a mess. I didn't go grocery shopping.
Did you eat?
I ate like whatever was available to me, like whatever was easiest. I live walking distance from a board and brew, which is usually my go-to. But I try to give myself some grace.
Yeah, I think you have to.
As long as I did the auctions well, that's all I needed to do last week. This week, maybe I will go to the grocery store and maybe I'll clean up my apartment a little bit, but as long as I can kind of get what I need to get done, there is like tiers, right? My to-do list has tiers. There's the absolutes. There's the middle tier kind of, kind of important. And then there's the bottom tier, I'll get to it when I can.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about, you already talked about your mentor, but let's talk a little bit about barriers in your career and men. Have you ever experienced anything like that, or have you?
Well, yeah. So it's interesting because auctioneering is incredibly male dominated. Mm-hmm. But the nonprofit industry is not. The nonprofit industry is very female dominated. Mm-hmm. So I primarily work with women, and a big part of the reason that I've been able to book as many events as I do is because of women, because women have really gotten behind me and helped me get jobs. One of the most important professional women in my life is Courtney Bell. So Clint's wife, she is my manager. And she often, especially when I was starting out, when I was 20 years old and no one wanted to hire me, she pitched me, and she pitched me incredibly well. Mm-hmm. And a big part of the reason that I was able to book in those early days when I was a hard sell, I was still in college. I couldn't even drink. I was not even 21 yet. People would offer me, when I was done with an auction, they would be like, would you like a glass of wine? And I would be like, actually, I'm not 21. So it was a hard sell. It was a hard sell. And Clint and Courtney really went to bat for me. And Courtney especially, Courtney has been such an amazing partner in all of this, because auctioneering is a solo sport. I don't really have, I'm going to events by myself, and I don't have coworkers. And Courtney, it's important to have coworkers. It's important to have somebody that understands what you do, so that if you have something that you need to talk through, you have a person that you can talk through that with. And Courtney has just been an amazing person, not only to help me professionally, but she always will help me talk through problems that I'm having, or conflicts, or any kind of if I'm having a tough day. She is such a phenomenal, and it's phenomenal to have that person in your life that you can call.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and she understands it because her husband also has done that.
Exactly.
Too. So she does have that experience. Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about lessons learned that you think women can learn and apply to their lives.
Yeah. I'm a big believer in fake it till you make it. A huge believer in fake it till you make it.
Absolutely.
My first event, I would love, there's no way that there's video of it, but I would love to see it. But I was faking it till I made it, especially in those early days. I was, I was trying, because in many ways, you can't prep for this job. You can practice your bid calling, you can practice how you're going to say things, but you can't prep for what organically happens in the room. Yeah. There's no way to do that. There's no way to practice crowd work until you are in front of a crowd. And in those early days when I felt like I didn't have a clue, I was just kind of, I made sure that I could control what I could control. I made sure that I picked the right outfit. I did my makeup well. I showed up looking professional. And then the rest was just faking it till I make it.
Bringing your A game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and it really, your job is really about connecting. Again, you're an entertainer. You're there to get people to bid, but you're also there to make it not boring.
Yeah, exactly.
You're there to have fun and to bring the fun.
Yeah.
Which you have such a big personality, and I really, I can't say it enough. I have so much respect for you, because I've seen you a few times, several times actually. And I was like, gosh, she's so good. She's so good. You really are an entertainer, but you bring people in to where they really are totally engaged.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And one of the ways I try to do that is when I get to events to talk to as many people as I can during that cocktail hour time.
Yeah.
It helps alleviate any nerves that I have going into an event.
So you have this thing you do when someone's not bidding or they stop bidding. What do you say to them when you're like, oh, come on? I don't even remember exactly what it is, but it's very artful. It's very artful.
It kind of depends. sometimes things organically will happen in the room, and I will be able to give
You're gonna
very
let him
personalized.
outbid you. Like you say things like that. It's so funny.
I try to get people to kind of get a little competitive about it. If it's two people that I know each other too, that are outbidding each other, I will let them know that if they can't see each other, I will let them know who they're bidding against, and it kind of brings the competition to like a fun level for everybody, and everybody will kind of get involved.
You really get the crowd like getting all into it. It really is an art. I mean, it really is. It really is, Anna. So, before you did this, what did you do before?
So I was in college when I started, but I was in college. I went to USC and I studied theater and I minored in business. Mm-hmm. During the pandemic, obviously events were canceled, and I moved to Park City, Utah, and I taught skiing at Deer Valley for 4 seasons. I actually taught up until last season, and I was a whitewater river guide.
Wow.
And
I think I'll be an auctioneer.
And then when events came back, I went back to being an auctioneer. But
that is so funny.
I love doing, sort of people-facing jobs, like any kind of people-facing job is a job that I enjoy. So whether I'm out on the river, out on the ski slopes, or at an event. So
weirdest thing you've ever auctioned off?
Oh, I auctioned off a vasectomy. An elementary school gala, which if you're going to auction off a vasectomy, you should do it at an elementary school gala. It was not planned. I had auctioned off LASIK eye surgery that night. And there was a urologist in the room who had gone to one of the board members and said, I'm a urologist. Could I donate a vasectomy? And Anna can just do it at the end of the live auction. So in the middle of the live auction, a woman came up to me and handed a piece of paper and said, can you, when you're done with all our regular items, can you then auction off this vasectomy?
Did you think it was a joke?
I did say, I think I did say, are you serious? And she was like, I'm completely serious. Like he offered it up and I said, okay, like this is going to be, I mean, if anything, it's going to be a great story. But elementary school galas are really fun because people are excited to get dressed up. They're excited to have their kids be at the sitters for a night. So they can get a little crazy. And it was such a good crowd to auction a vasectomy off in front of. It was so much fun.
That is hilarious. So do you go all over the United States for auctioning?
I do. So
auctioneering?
Yes. I'm in San Diego about 75% of the time. And then 25% of the time I'm on the road. So actually today I fly to Salt Lake. And Thursday I go to Phoenix, come back for a San Diego event. Next week I'm in Tulsa. So it can get a little hectic, but I really love doing auctions in San Diego because this is where I grew up. This is my community. And when I do events, oftentimes I get to run into people that I know from childhood, that I know from like different parts of my life. But I also love being on the road. I love traveling to new places and kind of seeing like what that's like and what jokes resonate better with a Salt Lake crowd versus a Phoenix crowd versus a Tulsa crowd. It's kind of tests my regional joke making, if you will. Right.
Yeah, it gives you a wide array.
Yeah.
So have you ever auctioned off a miniature horse?
I've never auctioned off a miniature horse. I think you have to be certified to do anything with cattle or livestock. Really? And I am not at all certified to do anything cattle or livestock.
So it's all just nonprofit work?
It's pretty much all just nonprofit work. I will do the occasional sort of one-off corporate event, but 98% of my work is with nonprofits.
So if we have a listener that's listening thinking that is such a cool job, how would they go about getting involved?
Well, I would say the best course of action is to find an auctioneer. Yeah. Like go see galas, go see different types of auctioneers. I have actually not seen that many auctioneers. I just happened to get it right the first time I saw Clint Bell, and was like, oh, he's great. Like, that's who I want to be my mentor. But there's a lot of types of auctioneers. There's a lot of types of auctioneering. So I would say go to a lot of different events. See who you would want to be a mentor. Yeah. Ask them if, they're interested in mentoring someone at that time. There are auction schools.
There are?
There are. I did not go to one, but they do.
Auctioneers are us? Just kidding.
There's different types of auctioneering schools that you can go to and get, I think they tend to be a little more geared towards that sort of like cattle or livestock or storage or that kind of stuff. But you can go and you can learn how to do bid calling. And that's always fun to learn how to do different types of bid calling, because every type of auctioneering has its own kind of style, its own kind of like pattern when the auctioneers talk quickly.
So what's next in your journey?
Oh man, I mean, I just want to be an auctioneer until I like am 80 years old. I love this job. I would love to do it for the rest of my life, for sure.
Well, I can tell everyone, I know you do make it fun. It is very fun to be at an event that you're at. It really is exciting. And, you know, when I first heard you, I was like, who is this gal? She's so energetic. You just have a big presence to you. And I really am so proud of you. I just can't express enough.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
that is incredibly kind.
Well, so you have a website. How do people get in touch with you?
All sorts of ways. I have a website, annacovrette.com, and there's like a little form submission on that. I will get sometimes DMs on my Instagram, which is just Anna the Auctioneer. Sometimes people will contact childhood friends of mine and get my cell phone number from my best friend from middle school's mom. So sometimes that happens too. So
Nice.
all different sorts of ways. But I'm highly reachable for sure.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Now that was powerful. We hope you've been lifted and encouraged by today's inspiring voice. Always remember that life doesn't look exactly the same for each one of us. Never stop dreaming, striving, and thriving. In future episodes, we look forward to bringing you powerful stories from amazing women who learned how to lead in to challenges. Thank you for listening and being part of our community with SheEO host, Rebecca Jones.
The incredible curated SheEO conversation you just enjoyed was brought to you by SmartStop, a leader in self-storage real estate and a company that upholds its core principles of leading together, embracing change, and enhancing everyone's journey. To learn more about SmartStop, please visit smartstopselfstorage.com.
Cloudcast Media.